Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your daily shot of sharp business intel, global trends, and market movers. It's Thursday, July 24th. I'm Nelson John. Deals, drama, and diplomatic resets. It's been a day of powerful moves, panic buttons, and a major fall from grace. From Modi's high-stakes meeting in London to a Mayday moment on an IndiGo flight, India's week is spinning fast. We've got the inside track on the $322 million US weapons deal for Ukraine, a thaw in India-China ties with tourist visas back on the table, and a sharp gavel drop in Delhi. Chanda Kochhar found guilty in a 64 crore rupee bribe-for-loan case. Grab your coffee, we're breaking it down one headline at a time. It was a warm embrace from the diaspora and a high-stakes handshake in the halls of diplomacy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi touched down in London on Wednesday, kicking off a two-day visit aimed at sealing the long-awaited India-UK free trade agreement, a deal that's been 3 years in the making. This partnership spans trade, technology, defense and more, Modi said before takeoff, underscoring the big agenda ahead. All eyes are on his meeting today with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, hosted at the historic Chequers estate. The two leaders are expected to formalize the FTA that could eliminate tariffs on 99% of Indian exports while opening India to more British whiskies, automobiles and high-end goods. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and UK's Jonathan Reynolds are likely to ink the deal in their presence, marking a major reset in India-UK economic ties. In 2023-24, bilateral trade hit $55 billion, and with over 1,000 Indian companies operating in Britain, the relationship runs deep. UK remains the sixth largest investor in India, while Indian firms have pumped nearly $20 billion into the British economy. Later today, Prime Minister Modi meets King Charles at the Buckingham Palace, capping a day that blends diplomacy, trade, and royal pageantry. And up next, Modi heads to the Maldives, a visit being seen as a diplomatic breakthrough after recent tensions. Another day, another scare. It was a close call on the runway. An IndiGo flight from Ahmedabad to Diu carrying 60 passengers aborted takeoff after one of its engines caught fire during the takeoff roll. The pilots immediately declared a Mayday and brought the aircraft to halt, prompting an emergency evacuation. The flight 6C7966, an ATR 76 turboprop, was scheduled to depart at 11 a.m. when engine trouble was first detected. IndiGo later confirmed that a technical snag indication popped up just moments before takeoff. As per standard safety procedures, the plane returned to the bay for checks. All passengers were safely deboarded. The aircraft will undergo thorough inspection and maintenance before returning to service, said an IndiGo spokesperson, adding that refreshments, flight transfers or full refunds were being offered to affected passengers. Now, this incident comes just a day after another IndiGo flight operating from Goa to Indore reported a technical issue before landing. That flight too landed safely but has since been grounded for inspection. While no injuries were reported in either cases, the back-to-back episodes are raising fresh questions about aircraft maintenance and technical preparedness. For now, IndiGo says it's prioritizing passenger safety and working with engineers to address the issue. After 4 tense years, a thaw may finally be setting in. On Wednesday, India officially resumed tourist visas for Chinese nationals, marking a major shift in post-Galwan diplomacy and a cautious step towards rebuilding ties with Beijing. The announcement was quietly made via a WeChat post by the Indian Embassy in Beijing, stating that Chinese travelers can begin applying for tourist visas online starting July 24th. It's the first major people-to-people move since both sides agreed in April to restart the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, paused since 2020. The freeze dates back to the violent Galwan Valley clash in June 2020, where 20 Indian soldiers and at least 4 Chinese troops were killed, sending India-China relations to their lowest point since the 1962 war. But there's been some forward motion. In October 2024, the two sides agreed on troop disengagement along parts of the line of actual control, followed by Modi and Xi meeting in Kazan and a flurry of diplomatic engagements. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, during his recent visit to Beijing, stressed that both countries must de-escalate border tensions and also end restrictive trade measures. He directly raised concerns about China's curb on rare earth and fertilizer exports, critical to India's EV and agriculture industries. In 2019, India issued nearly 200,000 visas to Chinese nationals. That dropped to just 2,000 in 2024. This latest move may help reset the clock and perhaps the relationship too. A fresh weapons package is on its way to Ukraine, worth $322 million and loaded with armored vehicles and air defense systems. The U.S. State Department confirmed the approval on Wednesday, saying Congress had been notified. The proposed sale includes $150 million for maintaining and upgrading U.S.-made armored combat vehicles already in use and another $175 million for surface-to-air missile systems, critical as Ukraine faces intensifying Russian attacks. Now, this comes just weeks after a surprise move. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth paused another arms shipment to review U.S. stockpiles, a decision that blindsided the White House. But President Donald Trump has since made a sharp pivot. "We have to," Trump said. "They're getting hit very hard now. We're going to send more weapons, defensive weapons primarily." He's now backing a workaround plan, getting European allies to purchase U.S. weapons, which they would then pass on to Kyiv. It's unclear if this latest sale is tied to that model. Since Russian invasion in February 2022, the U.S. has sent $67 billion in military aid to Ukraine. But pressure is mounting from Trump's own isolationist camp to pull back from foreign wars, making each new aid package potentially fraught. Meanwhile, America continues urging NATO allies to send air defense systems. But many in Eastern Europe, wary of Russian aggression themselves, are hesitant to part with their top-tier hardware. The message from Washington for you, though, is clear. Ukraine still has backing, at least for the moment. A dramatic fall from grace for one of India's most high-profile bankers. Former ICICI Bank CEO Chanda Kochhar has been found guilty of accepting a 64 crore rupee bribe in exchange for sanctioning a 300 crore rupee loan to the Videocon group. This as per a damning order from an appellate tribunal in Delhi. In a clear indictment, the tribunal said the bribe was routed through Kochhar's husband, Deepak Kochhar, via a company tied to Videocon, forming a classic quid pro quo deal. The ownership may have appeared to be with Videocon's Venugopal Dudh, but actual control was with Deepak Kochhar, the tribunal said. Crucially, it flagged a transfer of 64 crore rupees from Videocon's SEPL to NRPL, a firm controlled by Deepak, just a day after the loan was sanctioned. The tribunal sided with the Enforcement Directorate, which had long accused Kochhar of conflict of interest, policy violation and money laundering. It even slammed the previous adjudication authority for ignoring these facts and allowing the release of 78 crore rupees worth of Kochhar's assets. Chanda Kochhar, who led ICICI Bank from 2009 to 2018, had resigned amid this very scandal. In 2019, the CBI booked the Kochhars and Videocon's Venugopal for cheating the bank of 1,730 crore rupees. The ED followed with its own money laundering probe. Once a trailblazer in Indian banking, Kochhar now stands as a cautionary tale in corporate governance gone wrong. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.